Hello and welcome to the 2024 virtual lottery for the Front Door Grant Program. I'm Jennifer Anderson, the Communications and Marketing Manager for the City of Coon Rapids, joined by Kristen DeGrand, our Housing Programs Coordinator. Here we are again, Kristen, another year where we get to have the fun of picking winners for the Front Door Grant.
I feel like we just did this.
It is becoming an annual event you can set your calendar by.
That's true.
It's just been so popular that there's certainly a desire to continue to bring it back year after year. You've watched the program just explode in the interest and popularity surrounding it.
Yeah, it's been an amazing program for the city. We've had it now for 5 years, and it doesn't ever seem to get less popular. We've always had so many applications, which is why we're having the lottery tonight. And to be able to see the kind of the before and afters, the projects that people do is just amazing, the curb appeal.
It's great transformations, and we have a couple of examples that we can show. The real focus of Front Door, as the name might indicate, is focusing on the front side, curb side of your house. And tell me a little bit when we see, like, I think our first example is a porch. When somebody makes that change to the front of their house, what is the difference that can be made?
Well, it can be anything from, just like doing some kind of more subtle improvements to vastly kind of recreating the whole facade, which is what happened at this house.
Great example of that. It's like a whole different place.
A covered front porch, they just really increased almost their living space, of course, certain times of the year.
Outdoor living space, yes.
But just, it was amazing. It was beautiful what turned out.
Patios are another one that's popular. It can really change that usable space in your front yard.
Absolutely, yeah. This one, this patio, they had used pavers and they replaced it with newer, better pavers.
A much more modern look.
Yes.
It's so pretty.
It's very pretty, and it really adds to just kind of the, certainly, somewhat from the street level, but also from just, people coming up the driveway or, coming into the home. Just a huge difference with the difference. I mean, the before and after.
That first impression, that pop right when you go to somebody's home, it can have such an impact.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if you're watching tonight on our CTN government channel, or perhaps you're watching on YouTube, you may want to think about hopping over to Facebook if you're interested in engaging with us today. All throughout the program tonight, we will be watching our Facebook stream, which is airing this as well. And if you want to make a comment or leave something in that comment section, maybe we'll read it on the program tonight. And we can't wait to hear about your excitement for Front Door, and as people are waiting in anticipation. I know the reason they're all here is to hear their address, so we will try to get to that. We're going to start by introducing our volunteers. We're so glad that they're here with us today. We have Mike Gazelka and Al Hamill. They're old hands at this. They've had a few years of practice drawing these addresses for our participants, and they're going to do so again tonight. Before we get to the actual drawing, though, we do have a big announcement. Yes. If you were paying attention to your email, you might already know this, but if you haven't read everything in your inbox, kind of the big news today is no more wait list.
Yes, we decided that, most years we've kind of gone through the entire wait list anyway. By the time, by the end of the season or by, Labor Day.
Some people just can't complete their project for any number of reasons.
Right.
And so that's why you have those extra homes kind of ready and waiting. But then for them, they're starting that process kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit.
Absolutely, because it was hard to activate people, let's say in August, and expect them to have their projects done by the end of the year before the snow flies. So we just decided this year to try and see if we can just activate 105 people right from the get-go. So everybody who's pulled, whose address is pulled tonight in the lottery will be able to start the process right away, hopefully get their projects done sooner. And so we'll see, because normally we said we'd do 80 grants every year. I don't know if we'll do 80, I don't know if we'll do 90, I don't know if we'll do 105, but
time will
see.
tell.
Yeah.
So we are going to draw 105 addresses tonight total. everyone drawn will be activated right away. There are steps you have to take,
Yep.
but we will send you that information in the next couple days. So if you're listening and watching along and you hear your address, yay, congrats. Wait, we'll have more information coming your way from the city in the next few days. And what you can know tonight is that you get started right away.
Right.
So let's do it, because that's what everybody wants to know is who is going to be chosen. So Al, Mike, if you want to give it a roll and give us a start, we're ready.
Ooh, the drama.
We got our fancy tumbler. It's so exciting.
He did an excellent job, didn't he?
Yes.
We'll keep
Good
them.
job, Mike.
The first address is 333 111th Avenue.
The second address is 968 123rd Lane.
The next address is 3983 120th Lane.
The next address is 11679 Evergreen Street.
Then we have 10811 Hummingbird Street.
The next one is 11875 Avocet Circle.
Well, we'll dig deeper here now. The address is 12410 Larch Street.
The next one is 11515 Edelweiss Street.
Then we have 12909 Martin Street.
The next one is 4153 119th Avenue.
The next address is 1320 103rd Lane.
Next one is 1022 120th Lane.
So I'm digging deeper again.
All right. Go for it.
And the address is 2061 128th Avenue.
The next one is 11872 Kumquat Street.
The next address is 2711 121st Avenue.
Next one is 623 118th Avenue. Oh, excuse me, 108th Avenue.
Hey, don't give anyone false hope, Mike.
Yeah.
The next address is 12310 Swallow Street.
Okay, the next one is 11572 North Heights Drive. Two more.
11341 Osage Street.
And the last one for this segment is 1282 109th Avenue.
Good job.
Lucky, lucky you if you heard your address. Thank you, Al and Mike, for getting us started with our first batch of 20. Kristen, tell us a little bit about how the program works. Obviously, we mentioned it's for exterior projects, you know, on that front side of the home, but tell us a
Right.
little bit more about what the grants really look like and how they work.
Sure. Well, the grants, obviously, for curb appeal, things, improvements that you can see from the street. But if you are applying for something like siding or windows, you can do the whole house. You don't have to just do the front of the house.
That's sort of that minimum requirement, is
Yeah.
every project has to include at least that basic or beautification level of front exterior improvement.
Yeah, so every application, every eligible application needs to have at least one beautification project. So when you applied for the funding, the homeowners had to choose their projects from the basics category and from the beautification category. And the basics category included things like, siding, windows, roofing, trim, painting, things that are, necessary, but sometimes not as interesting or sexy.
Right.
Then there's the beautification category, and that's things like, shakes, stone, landscaping, columns by the front door, a covered front porch, window boxes, a front door, a garage door, a driveway. Driveway is the most popular project that people do through this program. Projects like that. And so every application needs to have at least one project from that list, from that beautification list. And each of those categories has a different level of grant available. So the basics category are eligible for 15% grant. The beautification category is a 25% grant. And then eligible, or people that are selected tonight through the lottery, can get a grant up to $5,000. So it only does pay for a portion of the cost of the overall project.
Right,
but
so
it
if
gives
your
them a
address
discount.
is called tonight, you still have your own pocketbook in here.
Yes.
You're contributing as well, but you're getting to make your dollar stretch even further based on the
Exactly.
type of project you do and how much you get back up to that $5,000 grant.
Exactly, yep.
Now, there is a process here. There are steps that you have to follow if you're chosen. You'll work with Kristen a lot and her team in the housing department to make sure that you cover all the bases that you need to cover. So the first thing to do when you hear your address drawn tonight is to watch your email, watch your mailbox. They will be sending a confirmation notification to every winner within 2 days to your email and as a letter through the U.S. mail. And that's going to have a kind of a checklist of all the steps you go through to get started so that you do things in the proper order and kind of cross all those T's and dot all those I's.
Right, and just for clarification, we will be sending emails and letters to everybody who did apply. But yes, especially for those that are selected in tonight's lottery, your letter, your email will have more specific information as to what the next steps are.
And if your name unfortunately isn't drawn tonight, you'll be notified as well. And then you're always welcome, assuming that we bring Front Door back into the future, you may reapply. It's not open to people who have already received a grant, but if you've applied and not won yet, you can still keep trying. And I know that that happens. We have lots of residents that just kind of keep waiting their turn and eventually their name comes up.
That's true.
All right, let's get back to it and let's see what that next batch is. Mike and Al, if you want to start our next batch of 20, that would be great.
Ooh,
Bunch stuck together.
the next address is 861 84th Lane.
Next one is 1457 120th Lane.
The next address is 360 107th Lane.
Next one is 2208 108th Avenue.
The next address is 11995 Wedgewood Drive.
Next one is 2533 South Heights Drive.
The next lucky winner is 2639 130th Circle.
Next one is 920 88th Avenue.
The next address is 12313 Ilex Street.
Okay, the next one is 3869 120th Avenue, excuse me.
There you go again, Mike.
The next address is 8686 Norway Street.
I promise to read this right. 1755 124th Avenue.
Next address is 11663 Bittersweet Street.
"3625 Mississippi Drive."
The next address is 707 114th Avenue. "10916 Flora Street." Four more. The next address is 611 84th Lane.
"1873 132nd Avenue."
The next address is 9425 Flintwood Street.
Last one, Mike.
Last one for this segment. 2975 129th Avenue.
Well, congratulations to that next batch of 20. I'm sure there's some people that are very excited to hear their address come up. And now the brain is going, oh, what are the things we can do with that little bit of extra boost from the city? I know what my budget is, right, as a homeowner, and now I can extend it even further. Kristen, we talked a little bit with the first couple before and after pics that we saw about some of the common things you mentioned. You know, there are some basics, but then the little extra flair. And one of our next examples of a before and after really did focus on a house that already looked great, but just needed that kind of extra pop and that extra flair. Columns and the type of material on the front of your home can really make that difference, right?
Yeah, this homeowner decided to really enhance the columns that they already had. So, you know, you can see obviously the before and after, what a huge difference. And it really, I mean, even just that one project alone, in my opinion, really made the house look that much more like it had been more recently built.
Yeah, it looks so much more modern with kind of, I don't know if that's craftsman style or
Sure.
sort of has that look to me.
Yeah, because you see that in a lot of new construction right now with those, you know, those big columns with the masonry and the brick on the bottom or the stone on the bottom, and then those tapered pillars. It made a huge difference, but and then to add, of course, the stone along the house as well. But you know,
It just kind of bumps the house into another decade, just,
Yeah.
you know, those small changes. But those small changes take a lot of work and they take a lot of money. So that's what this is for, is to help you have that extra little cushion you need to try to get you over the hump. I know I've spoken to a past winner who was like, you know, every year I'm tackling a project at my house and I'm saving and I have a budget for this. And so she would do that each year. But in the meantime, she was also applying every year. And so all of a sudden it was like, oh, this one thing I know I want to do, I'm just not there yet. My budget's not there yet. And last year when her address was drawn, she was like, oh, I can stop saving. Like, this is the year I get to do it because it just got me that much closer to where I was trying to save
Right.
for.
Yeah, essentially, I mean, the projects are, you know, either 15% or 25% less expensive, so it certainly does make them more affordable. And sometimes it means that the homeowners can do more projects.
And you mentioned driveways are really popular. This is another example of that.
Yes, driveways are the #1 most popular project. So this is before was an asphalt driveway that was crumbling, and they decided to replace it with a nice, fresh, bright concrete driveway. And just, you know, the before and after of a driveway can really make such a huge impact on the appearance of a house and just how it looks like it's maintained.
You know, it's like not necessarily as fun in terms of, oh, colors and textures and,
Right.
you know, style, but it's amazing how much of the front of your home is covered by that driveway. So
Absolutely.
it just has such this great impact just strictly from the space, but also it just gives it a fresh and clean look to have, you know, that fresh surface.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier for shoveling in the winter.
One other thing that is popular and it can be sometimes forgotten is the landscaping, because it doesn't have to
Yes.
physically be on the house.
Correct, yes, no, the improvements are anything that's visible from the street side on the front, you know, the front of the house, street side. So yeah, landscaping, obviously is not a structural thing, but landscaping, you know, this house here didn't have any landscaping. They had really nice sod, but they decided to put in a landscaping bed with you know, shrubs, grasses, a big boulder as you can see, and a tree in the corner there, some other flowers, and it just softens up the front of the house.
Yeah, it adds like a richness to it.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yep.
You know, it dresses it up too in a way where it just feels just a little bit elevated, like this house is just a little more expensive than it looked before
Yeah.
with just those little bit of greenery and accessories. So are you next? Is your address next on the list? Al, Mike, do you guys want to give us another roll and see who's in the next batch?
Give it a couple.
Mix it up real good.
Here's the lucky. Next draw. 11430 Cary Street.
765 108th Lane.
$845 117th Lane.
$3276 120th Lane.
Oh, another Kumquat Street. 11501 Kumquat Street.
727 114th Avenue.
One 2035 John Quill Street.
Two five one 112th Lane.
One 0609 Hollywood Boulevard.
830 109th Avenue. That's 10.
Nine 53 Coon Rapids Boulevard Extension.
Another one on Kumquat. 11580 Kumquat Street.
One 2011 Blackfoot Street.
550 115th Avenue.
Okay, this is right in my neighborhood. 10443 Mississippi Boulevard.
One 2836 Crooked Lake Boulevard.
Oh, no. 11832 Kumquat Street. Popular.
Kumquat's gonna look nice. One 2066 Eagle Street. Two more.
916 85th Lane.
And the last one on this segment, 3565 115th Avenue.
Well, thank you guys. We have some happy people, I would imagine, that have just heard their address called. I should mention, if you were waiting to see us on Facebook and you see us now, we've been live on CTN Coon Rapids YouTube page and on the CTN Facebook, but the City of Coon Rapids Facebook page had a kind of a delayed start to grabbing that live stream. So if you missed the beginning, you can go back and catch it on our Facebook at the City of Coon Rapids, on Facebook at CTN, and on the CTN Coon Rapids YouTube channel. Once this live portion is done tonight, the entire video will be able to watch on demand shortly after the program ends. There's a little bit of processing time that happens, and then that video is available. So if you missed the first batch or two and you're like, oh, was my address in that? You can stick around tonight still, and you'll be able to catch it later this evening. So we apologize for that little hiccup. But the people that have been able to follow along, Kristen, are excited. Katie was commenting she can't wait for her new garage door and siding. We love to hear that. Melissa mentioned that she didn't know that this was a thing. Well, come on board. This is a thing. Front door has been...
So did she apply?
Well, I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so. Melissa, come in and try it out. Try your luck. Front door has been around since 2019, and a little bit later in the show, we'll give you kind of the scope of how many people have been reached by the program. But first, we want to talk about a great event right around the corner that you can participate in, get some ideas to use your grant, or if you don't have a grant, ideas for what to do while you're waiting for next year.
Yes, so this Saturday is the 24th annual North Suburban Home Show. This home show, obviously we took a little bit of time off over COVID, but now we're coincidentally in sync with the year, 2024, and it's the 24th annual. But it's an event that's sponsored by the cities of Andover, Anoka, and Coon Rapids. It's up at the Andover YMCA Community Center on Hanson, 152nd and Hanson. It's this Saturday, March 9th, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it is an early event, but it's free. And we do have 100 vendors that are signed up and ready to go that have booths, and you walk around, you talk with contractors face to face. So when you do get your emails tomorrow, when we send the letters to you in the U.S. mail, we will have information about the home show as well, because we certainly do encourage people to attend the home show, and it's not by coincidence that we have...
The timing is what it is.
No, that we have the lottery 3 days before the home show. We always try to partner those two events, because we have all these people, the 336 people or whatever that we had applications for that are interested in doing exterior projects at their house this year. So we want to encourage all of you, whether or not you were selected in the lottery or not, to come to the home show this Saturday, talk with contractors, start getting estimates, get ideas as to what projects you can do, what materials you want to select. It's just a really great event. Again, it's free of charge. We do encourage you to bring non-perishable items to donate to the food shelf. The Boy Scouts will be collecting for us. And it's a great event at the Andover YMCA, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And so efficient, because there's just so many resources in one spot. And sometimes it's half the battle is, okay, where do I start? Who knows anything about this idea that I have? And you just walk up and down those aisles and it's like, oh, this person knows, and that person knows, and this business knows. So it brings together so many resources in one place, and you don't have to wait for a front door grant to tackle something at your home. You can be working on a project even if you're not selected, and keep in mind that other special thing for next year in case you have to wait a year or two to get your name drawn. And speaking of drawing names, we're going to get right back to it because that's what people are waiting for, but quickly I want to just remind people who may be tuning in to us on our City of Coon Rapids Facebook page. We're so sorry if you missed the beginning. The stream got clicked on a little bit late, but if you missed the first couple batches of names, addresses drawn, stay tuned. After we're done tonight, we will make sure that the whole video is uploaded in its entirety. It takes a little bit of time, but it will be up tonight. So if you're just so anxious and you don't want to wait a day or two to hear from the city, you'll be able to watch it in its entirety on Facebook tonight. You can also catch it on CTN's YouTube page and the CTN Coon Rapids Facebook page. So Al and Mike, let's throw it back to you and give it another round.
Oh gosh, Mike, you did a wonderful job.
This is so fun.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying yourselves.
The next address is 10420 Osage Street.
2143 128th Lane.
11219 Norway Street.
2632 116th Lane.
59 101st Lane.
11940 Goldenrod Circle.
There must be another Kumquat Street one in here. Let's see. Oh, 1379 104th Avenue.
Elizabeth says, pull from the bottom. She might just have a feeling that her paper is way down at the bottom.
11633 Cary Street.
Okay, what's your address?
I can't tell you. I don't know. Let's hope this is it.
I went down deep on that one. 1435 104th Lane.
.846 90th Avenue.
350 105th Avenue.
We're going to have to take speech classes. 2559 115th Avenue.
Okay, I'm going right to the bottom on this one.
That one's good. I have a good feeling about this one.
2901 121st Avenue.
11440 Gladiola. It's right in my old neighborhood.
So there were a couple on 121st Avenue that were close together. The neighbors must talk, you know.
That's some of the beauty of Front Door. It's catching, you know, one does it and then the next, and it's a domino effect in a good way.
1771 102nd Circle.
11365 Palm Street.
Speaking of Kumquat Street,
Oh, no.
they must be getting together over there on Kumquat Street. 12090 Kumquat Street. 12090 Kumquat.
2170 112th Avenue.
Okay, right in the corner there. We're 9951 Cottonwood Street.
Okay, last one this segment. 12790 Raven Street.
And we're at 80. Okay. That would have been the end of the winners in previous years, but not this year. So stay tuned because we're going to draw how many more, Kristen?
25.
25 more winners, and if your address is drawn in this next batch, that means that you get to start right away. You don't need to wait to see if someone drops out. We know that some will. Some
Right.
projects, for any number of reasons, just aren't going to come to fruition this year, and that's okay. But if your name's drawn, you're going to give it your best shot.
Absolutely.
So give us a little bit of context here, Kristen, because we mentioned, like, we're hearing some streets come up again and again. Okay, the Kumquat's going to have a lot of projects, but that's actually a great thing because the program is designed to hopefully encourage neighbors to jump on the bandwagon. Oh, I love how that looks. Look at what they did. Oh, we could do that. It makes it seem attainable, and it gives ideas of how small and large things can make a real big impact. In the course of this program since 2019, it has had a huge reach.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, every year up until this year, we have selected 80 people to receive a grant. And so, and some years we didn't actually reach the 80, you know, despite having even exhausted the wait list. But in all, we've done 374 grants since 2019. And, you know, it's almost 400 people that have done these really large projects to improve the outside of their homes and the curb appeal. And, you know, the thing about the Front Door Grant Program is the fact that it doesn't just fix up that one house.
Right.
I think the impact, like you were kind of mentioning, is it impacts the whole block. I mean, everyone gets to benefit when your next door neighbor, for instance, does whatever project, because everyone can see it. And it does have an impact. It does have a domino effect. You know, people, even if they didn't apply through the program or weren't selected, they still do some projects. So it's just really interesting to see.
If a house is for sale on the street and, you know, prospective buyers driving down through the neighborhood and oh, this is a nice neighborhood. Look at that house, look at that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just the house you're looking at. You're paying attention to the big picture. And so it's great. That 374 grants, that's a lot of money we're talking about.
Yeah, so, I mean, thankfully, the council was very supportive of this program. They know how popular it continues to be, so they continue to support it. And that means financially, too. So over the last 5 years, the city has spent $1.1 million for the grants, and that has meant a total of just under $6 million worth of improvements. Because again, this grant only pays for a portion of the cost of the whole project. So $1.1 million of city funds, $6 million of improvements that the city has benefited from.
Yeah, you know, that grant goes a long way because then the homeowners are investing as well.
Yep.
And so that overall total improvement, we're talking, you know, almost 6 million. It's really significant.
Absolutely.
We had a question on Facebook about, you know, how many people applied for the grant. And every year it's been somewhat steady. I mean, there's a lot of interest in that 300 range, but this year I think we're over 300,
Yeah, I
kind of 320-ish or so.
Yeah, we had, 336 eligible applications. We did have a handful of applications that were not eligible. Either they were over the $400,000 property value limit, or the properties weren't homesteaded, maybe not current on your property taxes. But 336 eligible applicants. Every year, I think this year was the second to highest number of applications that we received. Normally, in most years, we get anywhere from like 270 to 320 range. So, but it continues to be extremely popular. Again, that's why we have this lottery.
Now, if you're watching and waiting to hear your name, and if you maybe didn't see the program in its entirety, we don't post the addresses anywhere. No. You have to either watch the video that is on Facebook or YouTube, and it's streaming, of course, also online now, but will also be on the City and CTN Facebook pages. But you don't have to wait long. If you're not going to sit through the video, you will be notified. Everybody who has submitted an application will be contacted by the city within the next 2 days, so you don't have to wait too long. But we have now our last batch of 25. All 25 of these get to start their project if they so choose right away, so that's exciting. Let's do that last round.
Right away after they submit their bids.
After they do the steps that they gotta do.
And get permits if permits are needed.
So, now, Kristen's going to make sure you're following all the rules.
Yes.
So wait for your info letter that comes with all the steps that you have to follow.
Yes.
I don't think anyone's going to start their project tonight, though. It's getting late.
It's getting dark.
The next address is 1584 106th Avenue.
Next one is 2328 131st Avenue.
The next address is 10749 Crooked Lake Boulevard.
Okay, the next one is 9830 Ilex Street.
The next address, unbelievably,
Oh, come on.
It's not kumquat, is it? Oh my goodness.
Good grief.
10031 Kumquat Street.
Yeah, I'm moving to that neighborhood.
Let's see if we can get another neighborhood. Okay, 10324 Zavis Street.
The next address is 9449 Flintwood Street.
All right, down to the bottom, 9768 Larch Street.
Okay, I know that one of the Facebook people wanted us to go right to the bottom, and here we are
Okay,
again.
let's have it.
12060 Juniper Street.
$1468 97th Avenue.
$10151 Foley Boulevard. So 10151 Foley Boulevard.
Okay, 4 more left. 2341 128th Avenue.
Where'd you get that, Mike?
So how many are we, what do we have to go still?
We're at 92.
Okay, so we got a few left.
Oh, we got
more
a
than 10.
few. I
More
miscounted.
than 10 to go.
You're jumping ahead, Mike.
He just had a feeling.
It's that range education.
5 and 8. We got 13 left here yet.
Okay.
2084 123rd Lane.
Boy, this is something. 98th Lane.
Really?
1.
That's quite an address.
1. Wow. Are they the first settlers of Coon Rapids?
2781 128th Avenue.
$1354 109th Avenue.
One 3136 Martin Street.
$10163 Mississippi Boulevard.
Okay, this is for that gal who wanted us to go to the bottom here.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is a good
hers,
poll,
right,
huh?
this is hers right here. 818 85th Lane.
Elizabeth, if that's you, you really do have to let us know, because that would be pretty funny.
10034 Gross Street.
$3326 116th Lane.
We're getting in the home stretch here now.
1649 124th Avenue.
$11400 Dogwood Street.
$8339 Mississippi Boulevard. Last one.
Last
This is the
one.
last
Here we
one?
go.
This last one. Make it good.
Woo-hoo.
The soft shoe and all that we got to do now? Huh? 11349 Quinn Street.
I thought you were going to say kumquat.
There's no like grand finale dance or anything here, but we are very excited for everybody whose addresses were drawn. Thank you so much to Mike and Al for helping us out again this year. We promise this is very random. You saw they were turning that tumbler. We turned it quite a bit before we started today. So Congrats to all the addresses that were drawn. We have some excited people. Carolyn, Nicholas, Jessica, lots of cheering in the comment section, so that's a good sign that you heard your address called. That was 105 winners drawn for the 2024 Front Door Lottery. That means that all 105 of those residents are activated to get started on the process of getting a front door grant, and that process has many steps to it, which you are going to learn about in the next few days. Stay tuned to your email, watch your mailbox through US Mail for all the information that you need. Now, we're excited for those people, of course, Kristen, but for those that didn't hear their address this year, there will be no more addresses drawn. Some inevitably of that list may drop out, but they won't be replaced. This is the final list for 2024.
Right.
So if you're not in this list this year, you'll have to wait for next year, but there are other opportunities and programs as well. We have lots of loan programs available in Coon Rapids.
Yeah, so the Front Door Grant Program is the only program, only home improvement program that the housing, good grief, that the city has.
We're almost done.
That the city has or where there's actually a deadline, because it is so popular. But the city does have a variety of other home improvement programs available year-round that do not have a deadline. So we do have low-interest loans that are available at either 3% or 5% interest, so it's a very attractive interest rate. If you're looking to finance improvements, those loans go up to $50,000, and there is no income limit, but based on your income is how we determine what interest rate you're eligible for. We also have deferred financing, which is a loan that does not require any monthly payment. It's a 0% interest, but you do have to be under a certain income to be eligible. That is an option. We have also
Home for Generations.
Home for Generations. Yeah, it's a very popular program. Yeah. So Home for Generations may not be a good fit for you if you're looking to do exterior only. Because it does require that you do a full room remodel. So it does require one interior full room remodel, such as a kitchen, a bathroom, a basement
Moving a
finish.
wall, gutting
Yep.
something existing.
Yep, so something major from within the house. So as long as you're doing one major interior project, you can also do exterior projects. And the more exterior projects you do, the larger your grant is, because it does give you a little bit of an incentive if you do those curb appeal elements. But the Home for Generations program offers grants up to $5,000, similar to Front Door. It also offers rebates on the building permits. It offers a subsidized meeting with an architect. Everybody who goes through the program sits down with an architect in their house, and the city helps pay or subsidize the cost of that visit. And there's also the financing piece of it too. This program does not have an income limit. We also do have some emergency funding available if someone has like a furnace that goes out or a sewer issue that happens. And
They need it now.
Yeah, they need it now.
They're not ready for this expense.
Yep,
And there might be assistance there.
Yeah, and so if they're not eligible for any of the other programs, we do have emergency funding available as well. I should also mention too that we have also a program called Green Homes. Green Homes is not a program that I oversee, but in our department, Olivia works with homeowners to get subsidized costs for energy audits, home energy audits, find out, where is your house leaking energy? Where can you make improvements, make it more energy efficient? There's also rebates available for certain energy-related improvements, so it's a great program. But all of this information is available on the city's website at coonrapidsmn.gov.
Lots of opportunity out there to access resources, advice, expertise, of course the financing as well. So we hope that you find something that fits you. If you're not sure or that just feels a little bit overwhelming, call or email. The staff is happy to walk you through the options that might be a good fit for you. In the meantime, we have lots of excited people tonight watching who heard their address, so congrats to you. Thank you for tuning in. Again, stay tuned to your email as well as your mailbox for more information about the next steps to take. And we want to thank again our volunteers for being here tonight and drawing the names. Thank you to everybody who applied. We're loving the interest in this program, and we love the impact and difference that it makes on your street and in your neighborhood. Again, you can always learn more at coonrapidsmn.gov. And I think that's it.
We'll see you at the home show on
Yeah.
Saturday.
That's it until Saturday.
Yep.
See you then. Thanks so much for watching the 2024 virtual lottery for the Front Door Grant Program. Have a great night.